Let us talk about indoor climate today, what it is, how it affects our life, well being, comfort, and our ability to work. In particular, we'll be focusing on the indoor climate of classrooms. But first, a short story about what indoor climate can mean for a young child. When you were young, you probably had a favorite soft toy, right? Many of us do. That one toy which you would go nowhere without, the one you would have with you always, even when you slept. However, imagine a 4-year-old who cannot have soft toys because the doctor told them not to. And why did they do so? Because the child's home is too humid, too much moisture in the air. This leads the soft toys to have growth of these tiny organisms called dust mites, which in turn are the source of an allergen that can lead to kids having severe attacks of asthma, so severe that they can even cause death. Just because of too much humidity in her home, this child can never play with soft toys. This is what I would like you to keep in mind as we discuss more about indoor climate and its importance. Indoor climate is a combination of the indoor thermal environment. Like, are you feeling too warm or cold or just right? Is there too much air movement? Is it too humid? Or again, is it just right? And the indoor air quality. Is the air feeling fresh or stuffy? Are there any odors or are there some pollutants which may be odorless but still bad for health? If you give it a little thought, you'll soon realize that we spend about 80 to 90% of our life inside some kind of building or the other. Nearly 50% of our life is spent at home, and on school days, you also spend about 6 to 8 hours in your classrooms. Since we spend so much of time indoors, it only makes sense that the indoor climate affects how comfortable we are as well as our overall health. Good indoor climate quality helps us stay healthy, feel comfortable, and do our best in school. When indoors are too warm or too cold, it can cause symptoms like exhaustion and even affect your heart rate and blood pressure. Every day, we breathe in about 11,000 liters of air, and about 10,000 liters of that is indoor air. Think of it this way, that is 10,000 liters of air compared to just about 3 to 4 liters of water you drink every day. And we always insist on clean water to drink so that we are healthy. So, of course, if the air that you breathe in is not clean, it can also get you sick. It can cause respiratory infections, allergies, and asthma, cause dryness of eye and throat, headaches, and some indoor air pollutants like particulate matter and radon also cause cancer. If a room is too warm or too cold, or too dry or too windy, or the air feels stuffy, you will feel uncomfortable. And when you are not comfortable, it becomes difficult to focus on your studies. If the temperature is uncomfortable or the air is stuffy, it distracts you from work and in the classroom from learning. Poor indoor climate can lead to you being distracted, feeling sleepy, or even falling sick, meaning you cannot come to school. On the other hand, a good indoor climate helps our brains work better and makes it easier for you to learn. What are the parameters that affect a classroom's indoor climate? As we just discussed, it is about factors like temperature, humidity, and air quality. For good air quality, we need to make sure that we have good ventilation with clean outdoor air and also make sure there are no sources of pollutants inside. The temperature should not be too hot or too cold. A window should not allow too much of sunlight coming in and heating up the room. Humidity should be something moderate, like not too dry, not too damp. Clean indoors also ensure that we can eliminate some pollutants from indoors like dust and mold. What are the common sources of indoor pollutants? Well, not a big surprise. One big source is us, the occupants. We emit volatile organic compounds from our body, the sweaty smell that you may be familiar of. We shed skin particles. There are also fine particles and chemicals from our clothing, our hygiene products like deodorants and scents. Like us, our pets can also be a source of indoor air pollutants. Cleaning products, paints, glues, and even the whiteboard markers that you use in classrooms, they can be sources of pollutants called volatile organic compounds. There are also biological contaminants like mold and infectious particles exhaled by someone who may be suffering from a respiratory infection like a cold or the flu. There are also sources of pollutants related to human behavior and activities, like from smoking and vaping, and that's why indoor smoking has been banned for many years now. Activities like cooking also produces fine particulate matter, and if you're using a gas stove for cooking, then it also produces pollutants like carbon monoxide and nitrogen dioxides. Some pollutants like fine particulate matter, black carbon, and ozone can come in from outdoors as well. In classrooms, things like computers and overhead projectors can also be a source of pollutants. So, what can we do to make sure of a good indoor climate? It could be sometimes as simple as opening a window. If outside conditions are just right and outdoor air is clean, then opening a window could just allow a cool breeze of fresh outdoor air coming in. We may need to use fans to help keep us cool and circulate the air so that it does not become stuffy and stagnant. Or you might have exhaust fans like you have in restrooms and toilets, which ensure that the stuffy air in those places gets exhausted outside. We need to make sure that the air conditioning and ventilation systems are well maintained and in good working order. Basic overall cleanness can also help avoid pollutants like fine dust and mold. Another thing that can help with a good classroom indoor climate is if you are down with some kind of infection, then you do not come to the class. That way, you are less likely to infect others by exhaling infectious particles while you are inside the classroom. A helpful tool for ensuring good indoor climate is monitoring the indoor climate using indoor air quality monitors available. So that when we know things are going wrong or going in the wrong direction, we can take appropriate corrective action without waiting too long, like going to a place where they are already affecting your health and learning in a negative manner. Without going that far, we start to take corrective actions earlier. There are several equipments available to monitor indoor climate. It could be something as simple as a thermometer, or you have laboratory grade sensors that monitor multiple parameters with great accuracy. There are some monitors which are integrated in the building, like part of the ventilation or air conditioning system. And then there are the new generation of monitors evolving, which are low cost and use the Internet of Things to keep the user informed of the readings continually. You can have monitors that focus on specific indoor climate parameters like carbon dioxide, humidity sensors, temperature sensors, or sensors that detect fine particulate matter, which is called PM 2.5, and other chemicals like volatile organic compounds. Where to place them? In the middle of the room, in the breathing zone, away from windows and doors, at about breathing height would be appropriate. And if you want to learn more about how where to place these indoor climate monitors, you can check out a video that I posted earlier. Some monitors try to make it really easy for you by giving this kind of traffic light schema to let you know when the levels of certain parameters are okay, so that would be green, or when they need action or are getting into a bad indoor climate zone, like going from yellow to red. So, in summary, good indoor climate can help us keep healthy and work and learn better. Indoor parameters like temperature, humidity, ventilation affect the indoor climate? And then there are simple steps we can practice, make part of our everyday routine to ensure favorable indoor climate. Well, that concluded this talk. As you go on with your day, I would like you to think about a few things. In your mind, why do you think indoor climate matters? Like beyond what I just discussed, are there other factors that you think makes indoor climate very important to you? What kind of factors about your classroom do you think affects the indoor temperature? What kind of everyday step would you like to take to improve the indoor climate of your classroom? And if you had an option, what kind of indoor climate monitors would you like for your classroom or your home? Thank you so much, and I'll be back with more such videos.